Okay, let's dive into this explainer. The blueprint of betrayal, the $50,000 ghost in the attic. I mean, today's story unfolds quite literally like a suspenseful comic book. It's got the whole shebang, hidden secrets, a totally shocking discovery, and this brilliant, almost heist-like twist of justice at the end. We're looking at a real-life scenario that is, for sure, one of the most calculated deceptions you'll ever come across. So buckle up.
How did a broken Wi-Fi router cost someone 50 grand and their marriage? Seriously, picture this. We've all been there, right? Staring blankly at a blinking router like some confused cartoon character. The internet drops, you let out a huge sigh, and you trudge over to unplug it and plug it back in. But how on earth does that incredibly mundane, everyday annoyance lead to a $50,000 revelation and the absolute immediate end of a marriage? Well, that's exactly the mystery we're unraveling today.
Section 1. The Perfect Facade.
And this brilliantly illustrates the wild contrast between their two lives. Because to the outside world, Mark and Sarah's 12-year marriage looked absolutely rock solid. But behind closed doors, completely different story. On one side, we have Mark, our hardworking architect. Imagine a guy exhausted, literally covered in sawdust, just grinding through freelance shifts until 2 in the morning to pay for their forever home. Meanwhile, Sarah claimed she really needed a career break. She was supposedly spending her days focusing on her mental health and, tending to the garden. So you've got one partner pushed to the absolute brink, while the other is seemingly just resting.
Section 2. The Wi-Fi goes out.
Okay, so it's an ordinary Tuesday. Mark is at home burning the midnight oil on a project when suddenly, boom, the connection drops. Now the router is upstairs in the attic, which is Sarah's private space. She usually kept it firmly locked for her daily meditation. But on this fateful night, the door is slightly ajar. Mark walks in, steps past the router, and notices something super strange hidden underneath a tarp. It's a high-end gaming laptop. It's glowing. And actually, it's completely unlocked.
Section 3. The Secret Exit Fund. Mark is obviously confused. I mean, why does his meditating wife have a glowing gaming rig stashed under a tarp? He opens it up, and sitting right there in plain sight is a spreadsheet ominously titled The Exit Fund. Now, what's really interesting about this $50,000 is the sheer scale of the deception. The spreadsheet meticulously tracked this massive sum sitting in a secret bank account. Yeah, Sarah hadn't been gardening at all. For the past 2 years, she had been working a highly lucrative remote consulting job in absolute secret, right there from that locked attic.
But honestly, the money wasn't even the most heartbreaking part of all this. Right next to that spreadsheet was her digital calendar, and it laid out a ruthless, step-by-step timeline. Step 1, wait for the master suite renovation to finish. That was the final and literally the most expensive part of the house Mark was killing himself to pay for. Step 2, move into a brand new city apartment that she had already picked out. Step 3, file for divorce. She was just waiting for Mark to finish draining his bank account and his soul into that house, fully intending to abandon him with all the crushing debt the very moment the paint dried.
Section 4. The Fatal Mistake. Now, a lot of people would have grabbed that laptop and just started screaming. But Mark's analytical architect brain kicked in instead. He found the thread that was going to unravel her entire scheme. Because Sarah made a fatal mistake. That exit fund laptop was actively logged into her consultant company's internal portal. But she was using Mark's incredibly expensive, professionally licensed architectural software to do all her secret work. She was committing a massive violation of her company's security protocols and professional ethics by illegally utilizing her husband's intellectual property.
Section 5. The Revenge.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an absolutely brilliant legal strategy. Mark realized he had hard evidence of a major legal and financial liability. You see, they lived in a community property state. That's a legal framework where income and assets acquired during a marriage are jointly owned by both spouses. Because Sarah earned that $50,000 while legally married to him, and crucially, because she generated it using his licensed software, Mark's lawyer had found an incredible legal loophole to jump right through.
So Mark executes this devastating behind-the-scenes counterattack in 3 quick steps. Step 1. His lawyer files a rapid-fire emergency legal injunction to freeze that secret bank account, arguing the funds were joint property. Step 2. Well, because they had been filing joint tax returns for the last 2 years, and Sarah hid this income, she had unknowingly committed tax fraud. So Mark's lawyer immediately notifies the IRS to protect Mark and totally expose Sarah. Step 3. The court actually allows the seizure of the money.
The climax to all of this is just wild. It all started on that Tuesday when the Wi-Fi dropped.
Mark plays it completely cool for weeks. He doesn't say a word. Then, the day before Sarah's calendar says she's going to move out, Mark has professional movers completely empty the property. So, moving day arrives, Sarah comes home, ready to execute her grand villainous exit strategy. Instead, she opens the door to absolutely zero furniture, no husband, and, thanks to the IRS and that legal injunction, $0 left in her exit fund. The money was seized to pay the back taxes she caused and to settle the renovation debt she tried to saddle Mark with.
Section 6. The final takeaway.
Let me read this. A foundation built on secrets will eventually collapse under the weight of the truth. When you try to build your future by stealing someone else's, you end up with no ground to stand on. Imagine a cartoon house literally crumbling into dust. That's exactly what happened here. Sarah tried to build her perfect future using Mark's software, Mark's house, and Mark's trust. And in the end, it literally left her standing in an empty room with absolutely nothing.
So, the crucial point is, what do your digital footprints reveal? If a broken Wi-Fi router forced someone to look at the trail you leave behind every single day, what kind of foundation would it show? Sarah thought she was a ghost in the attic, but in the digital age, true ghosts don't really exist. Keep your foundation strong, folks, and maybe remember this story the next time your internet drops.